This is an explanation of my new concept. I've been working on this for maybe the last three or 4 years before I've implemented it. It's gone great. The kids love it. I love it. It's called Gustatories, School of Gastronomy and Wizardry. It would be suitable for an introduction to food and nutrition, Foods 1, etc., even Foods 2, continuation of that class. Okay, but I have all of the class information and everything done just for the first semester for Foods 1. So, to give you an idea of what it's like, let's click on first week, starting the class info, which, by the way, if you purchase this, you get access to all of this, as well as I will do a zip drive of everything so that you could upload it. The only problem with that is that you would not then have access to the editable forms of it, but you would always have the link to here, so you would be able to make copies of the editable templates and then change it however you want, re-download it as a new one, replace it in the old document that is your copy, and then there you go. All right, so with starting the class, the first thing I do is I make them acceptance letters. Okay, we have an acceptance envelope. I give you instructions on how to do that. We have the acceptance letter, also editable to put your own name, etc. here. I explain all of this, what I would do in these little text boxes on the side. Okay, we have blank letterhead. We have sticker seals, which here is a printable page of a bunch of them. If I zoom in, you can see that it looks like a seal with the Gustatories crest on it. You just print it on sticker paper and then you cut them out, and well, that's the sticker for the back of it. If you don't want to go to that work, just get some like plain red stickers. Good enough, right? And by the way, I have a lot of ways that you can not spend any more money on this and keep track of everything like in a digital way so that you don't have to do like extra work either. So this is kind of an all-encompassing thing where you can do as much work or as little work after you purchase this as you want. It's totally up to you to make it your own. Okay, so the first thing I do is I give them the acceptance letter. I put in an equipment list with it. This is my equipment list, and then I give you one that you can edit. I put that in there. I try to deliver it to their first hour teachers because I usually have second and third hour. However, if you don't have time to do that, who does? Really, you can just put it on the desks where they're going to walk into, tell them to find their name, then they open it up. They start getting a little bit hype before class starts, saying what's going on here. I usually play the Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter while they're walking in too, to kind of set the mood. They do that. They realize this class is going to be different. Okay, then we have the syllabus. I have a link here that you can click on to edit the syllabus on Canva. It's a template. You can add in all your own information, but you get the template there. And also, syllabus presentation, you can edit. These are just like screenshots basically of the syllabus itself, and you can do that with your new edited syllabus that you make with the template. Okay, but basically I say, congrats, you've been accepted to the premier school for aspiring wizard chefs. Please read this helpful guide to make your tenure here as enjoyable as possible. I write down the topics of study in the class. I tell them what their classes are going to be. Potion brewing, that's labs, obviously. Practical gastronomical knowledge, that is going to be lecture and notes. Transmutation is going to be homework because it's like they're transmuting their knowledge onto paper of what they've learned in the class. And then specs stands for simply pretty easy checks of knowledge, and that's the tests. Okay, with the professor, you can put down your own information here. My house is Goldman when I took the personality test. So I say I'm deputy headmistress of Goldman House. Email, you can put your room, etc. Anything you want to put about yourself. For coursework, I just tell them where everything is at, what I expect them to do. It's all in Google Classroom for me. It might be different for you. Okay, with houses, they're named after the greatest wizard chefs of the 21st century. I sort them into their house after the culinary knowledge checks that I do in the first 4 or 5 days. And also based on their wizard registration. But the houses are House Fieri, House Ramsey, House Florence, House De Laurentiis, House Goldman, and House Morimoto. I let them know they're going to be judged based on the behavior of themselves and those in their house, and they'll receive and lose house points that will reflect the judgment. Okay, a built-in behavior management system. Okay, spell energy is what they can use to perform spells. This is the individual portion because I know not all students want to be judged upon things that their group members do. They also want to be seen as an individual. So we do both. The individual is just based on them. So gaining spell energy, doing great classroom behavior, turning in excellent homework, doing a great job during labs. Anything else I think of? Ways to lose it, being unprepared, like not bringing their Chromebook charge, arriving late or having an unexcused absence, not following my directions or turning in work on time, leaving the lab a mess after they leave, having unruly or insubordinate behavior. You could, of course, add to this or change it depending on what you're, okay? This transmutation practice, that's homework. That's our policy at our school for homework. Potions class, that's labs. I explain how I grade their labs. You can grade your lab however you want, change that however you want. And then I mention summative work, 30%. Formative work 30%, summative work 70% down here. Again, you can change that to fit your class. Okay, tardiness and detentions. I let them know how much I do not like tardiness by giving them detentions, negative spell energy, etc. Again, you can change this based on your own classroom rules. Okay, I have miscellaneous info here about their wands, their house points, head boy, head girl, or head student, and tardies and unexcused absences in the syllabus, and then let them know what they should do to make up work. So I use this to explain kind of how everything goes and give you guys kind of an intro explanation to it. But, okay, so a couple other things. The daily spell energy tracker. This is how I keep track of everything in class. I just print these off. I bought like a clipboard that opens up with storage, and I keep those in there as well as like potion rubrics and stuff. Extra copies of this, and I put this on the clipboard. You know, I'm writing the dates. Week 1, I'm adding up the totals. So this does 2 weeks at a time. I put what class period they're in. I will edit this once kids are sorted to put their names in this, so I don't have to write all their names in individually. Down here is where I keep track of house points given or taken away during class. And then I total it up, and then we add those at the end to the house points at the end of the week. Okay, I only update house points and spell energy once a week, so that's why I'm taking the totals here. But kids do something good in class. You say, Gianna in House Goldman, she raised her hand, answered a question nobody else did. You can put like +4s and +4 spell energy or whatever you want to do. And then at the end of the week, you see how much total she has, you write it there, and then you can update the spell energy trackers, which are the things the students can see. Okay. All right, so sorting info. First of all, I have them fill out the wizard registration one of the first days. Okay, this asks, they do the 16 personalities quiz, the Myers-Briggs. They select theirs, and then they also answer a lot of questions that gives me more information about them. If I'm struggling to connect with a student, I will go look at these later and see if there's not something that they answered about that I can find a way to connect with them. Okay, so make your own copy of that. I also have printed versions, and I have editable versions of the printed one. Obviously, you can edit the Google form, but if you want to print it and you want to edit it, you can click on here. You can take away questions. You can add other questions, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then the info for when you sort them, they go here. I made a sorting toque instead of a sorting like hat. I just used my Cricut to print off the logos of everything, put it along the bottom of the hat. I hover it over their heads. I won't read everything because I go into a lot of detail here, and also you can pause this video and read it if you really want to. But they do that. I sort them. I try to get them into their houses based on what their results were. Here are the suggested personality types for each house. However, obviously it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you get a lot more of one personality than another, so you have to make some judgment calls. I also let them sit wherever they want the first few days. Then I know who their friends are and who should not be in their lab group with them. Even if they answered the same personality type, I make sure not to put them in the same lab group or house. All right, so that's that information. Lot of miscellaneous info. I'll wait for that. There's posters for the classroom that you can put up of all the spells, as well as house characteristics that you can put in the lab. There's prefect badges. Okay, I have about the items in these folders showing you. You can make real life prefect badges with like a button cutter, and I have those for you, or you can do everything digital. Here's an example of what it would look like if this student is the prefect in their house. You, on the spell energy tracker, you would import the picture for their house's prefect. You would put it next to their name. This is also wand pictures, by the way, so you know if they have their wands. Again, you can pause it on this screen to read all about this if you want. But I'm not going to go about too much of it. I don't want this video to be super long. Okay, but there's the buttons. Okay, they're already, you just cut them out. You put them in a button maker. If you don't want to do that, like I said, you can do the pictures with the alternate prefect badges here. You can just put the picture, copy that, put the picture next to their name on the spell energy tracker. I also have certificates for head boy and head girl and also head student. So if you want to celebrate the student who did the best in each class, you could do head student. If you want to celebrate a boy and a girl who did the best in each class, or just overall in all of your classes, you can do head boy, head girl. If you have students who don't identify as boy or girls, you can do head student for them. But here's an example of just what the certificate would look like. You'd print it off. You would write deputy, headmaster, or headmistress of whatever your house is, whichever house you identify with, and then you'd sign your name. You just print this off. Again, hopefully school lets you print, so it doesn't cost you any more money. They do answer a question what their favorite snack or candy is on the Wizard registration, so if you really want to honor them, you could buy them that and give that to them with this certificate. Low cost, low effort way to honor students doing great. Okay. Okay. School and house logos, copies of all the house logos, individual house logos, as well as the school logos for you there that you could put onto things. Okay, so miscellaneous info. I have book cover copies of all the textbooks. So if you wanted to print things off and assemble physical ones, you could, because you could just print these, or you can change them around. They are editable. However, it's also all digital. So you can just do it digital. You don't even have to worry about this. I just give this to you in case you want to edit and change a bunch of different things to fit your aesthetic, whatever you're going for. Okay, I have Google Classroom banners that you can put as the banner to the class in Google Classroom. I have this fun little thing that's a yearbook, essentially, for them. Okay, it's just I put pictures of my students in the house that they're in so that they can look at past students who were in the same house as them. And I keep them all in like a little report folder, I think it's called, with the clear front. Okay, it's just like a cute thing that you can do, but obviously extra work. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can put in as much or as little work as you want with this as you want. Okay, house points. This is what my bulletin board looks like that keeps track of house points. However, you do not have to do a physical bulletin board. I gave you a digital one that you could post on Google Classroom. Here's what it would look like. There are pictures for every house of this jar slowly filling up. So if it's Goldman 1, it's going to be the very bottom where there's hardly anything in the jar. If it's Goldman 15, it's going to be all the way almost to the top here. So you can just change the picture. So you can move it around. Just change the picture. Oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, to reflect how many points they have, and then to give them the actual exact amount of points, you just write the number of points in this space. And so you could keep this online so students can always check to see how much house points. Again, I let them know I only update it once a week though, because I don't want them to, you don't want to make too much work for you having to do it every day. Okay, so this is the editable display too as well if you wanted to like just make it a picture, but you don't have to do that. Here's an empty jar. There's the number. You can change that around. These are the pictures of the jars slowly filling up. So you can see there's De Laurentiis about half full. Okay, they have that for every house. Okay, and then unit logos. These are just the logos I have for each unit we do that you could put on whatever you want. Wands. So I made physical wands. Here's an example. I used polymer clay. I put them on whisks and spatulas, and then I painted them. It was a little bit thing. You don't have to do that because I did it. So I gave you again. Here's the information about it. You can pause here and read it if you want to. But I made a wand selection thing, so you can post this on Google Classroom or whatever it is your district uses and say, pick a wand that you want. You can make it so that everyone has to get a different one, and you could draw like an X on it, like you could use a shape. So once a student does use it, you could just go like that so that other students can view it and know, oh, we can't have this one, somebody else has it. But I have pictures of all of the wands that I made for students to choose from here. And of course, you could make your own if you want. Again, that's another thing. You can put as much or as little effort as you want into this to make it your own, or you can just do this with as little effort as possible. Okay. So I showed you before the example. You saw the pasted with the prefect badges, the pasted wands next to it. That's what you do. When they choose a wand, you grab that picture, you copy it, you paste it next to their name, shrink it down a little bit. Now you know the student has their wand. They know what it looks like. It's just a cute little thing to do. Do you have to do it? No, you don't have to do it. It wouldn't really affect their gameplay much, but again, it's just a cute little extra that you could do to add some more fun to the game and let kids get more invested in it. Okay, I have syllabus background. I have a trophy label for students who win. You can make them a trophy. Here's the miscellaneous info on that. So for trophies, this is kind of what I do. Spray paint it. The woods teacher gives me little blocks. Use a popsicle stick. Do that. Or I give you other options here. Dollar Tree, you can get little tiny trophies for like 6 of them for $1, and then you can do them on wooden 1-inch blocks, and then you can put that label that I just showed you on it. Just a small thing that you can do. I also make like a house cup where you'll write on these bigger tongue depressors, you'll write which house won each semester or year or whatever. You can put that on there. It should last for a really long time because it has many sides. End of the year celebration, and you can do fancy stuff like this. If you don't want to put in a bunch of effort, you can just give drinks or let them pick out a snack, something that you can just buy that isn't too expensive. Or you don't have to do anything. Totally up to you. With aprons, I bought black aprons and I cut out with my Cricut all the different logos. I iron them on. It's a whole big thing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to give them any aprons at all. Won't affect the gameplay. But if you want to do something fun and not do all this work, you could just buy enough aprons for your students in the house colors. Okay? And then you don't have to iron anything. You just be like, oh, you're in house Fieri, that's green. You wear the green apron. Okay, with house points, I kept track of them physically besides the one that I gave you. You can get these bottles. I provide links to everything. You can put beads in them that are the same color. You can do like acrylic ice rock things, which is what I did to give it more of that jewel look. Again, you know, head boy, head girl. This is another option instead of certificates if you want to put a lot more work in. Again, you do not have to do it. Okay, I will scroll down this slowly so that you can pause and see all of it. You can pause the video and read it if you want. Okay, this is just what like the banners look like hung up in each house, in each lab. Okay. All right, so first week starting how everything else that you'll get with this. This is the history of gastronomical wizardry kind of book. It's just like a daily question that I ask them at the beginning. It's an opportunity for house points. Each house collaborates with their answer, and then they all answer. It's usually going to review something we learned previously or see what they know about the topic of the day already. Okay, you can change it, obviously, to fit your needs. Okay, then we have potions. Okay, these are all my labs. You do not have to do, if you have recipes you want, I give you the template and you can just edit it and put your own stuff in it. right here, put in your own ingredients, put in the name of your recipe, put in the procedure, you just type it in there. On the back, I have tasks that I have them do at the beginning of every lab and the end of every lab, and I just have that there. And then I just in the middle would put tasks specific to the recipe, and they just write down who is responsible for each thing, and that's what their lab planning consists of. So I have that, but I also have, if you want, all of my recipes. Okay, and they're in here. They're also editable if you want to change like one little thing about them. Okay, I have all my recipes in here for you. Okay, this also has all the information about the stuff in this folder. Okay, I've put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into this to make sure everything's in there. However, of course, if you're like, hey, there's something wrong with it, email me. I'll fix it. I will be happy to fix it. Okay, practical gastronomical knowledge. This is going to be notes. Okay, I have all the note guide pages if you want to change anything, templates, etc. But if you're just going to use the straight up presentations, you're going to use the tests that I give you. Okay, this is the note guide. It's already made for them so that they just have to fill in the blanks here when you talk in these text boxes. Okay, it's for every unit. I just post this at the beginning of the semester. It says all the note guides for this class. Every time we take notes, I tell them, get out your note guides, find it on Google Classroom. A lot of the times I'll move it up to the current week on Google Classroom so they know where to find it. It's just for the whole class. And then if you decide at the end, you could look at them, and I don't grade them, but you could look at them and be like, oh, they did it all. I'm going to give you 3 points back on the final exam. Up to you. Depends on how generous you're feeling, of course. Okay, but there is note guides. Here are all the power presentations for everything. Okay, with information that's on the test and whatnot. Okay, other stuff in there for you as well. More things that you could edit if you want. Specs, these are the tests. I have printable versions of every test that you can use, but I also have them as Google Forms, regular and modified. It will prompt you to make a copy of it immediately. I have all the tests for the class. Okay, for sensible spells, this is the spells that they can perform with that spell energy. Okay, so I came up with ideas of what rewards I thought that they would want. Okay, but you can obviously delete any of these. You can change them around. Okay, I give you a template for it. But see, it's pretty kind of some standard stuff here. Some other thing, like for example here, I have really cool pens that I have in a box that they can choose from. Popcorn, mug cakes, other various things. Again, you can change this however you want. Okay, with the spell energy trackers, this is the main important thing with the daily spell energy house point trackers. This is where you input the information into. Okay, you would write the student's name once they're sorted in each house. You would make one of these for each class period. You'd put every week, you'd update it, say how many spell energy they now have. Once they get their wands, you can copy and paste the little wands right next over here. If they get the prefect status, again, you can just paste the little badge that says prefect underneath their name. Don't have to actually print anything out, but I keep these on Google Classroom as an assignment that is ungraded, where they can view, every student can view the presentation, but they can't edit it, or I don't make their own copy or anything. So they can just look up how much spell energy they have at any given moment if they are curious. And you will have to remind them that it's a thing that exists. They say, well, what can we get with our spell energy? You tell them, go look at the sensible spells here. Okay, lastly, I have all the homework for every unit. It's organized by all the units here. Any of the Google drawings, these red things, means that you can edit it, change it around. The Google Slides means it's already ready with the current version of it for students to use. So if you like the current version, you just assign this to the student, make a copy for each student, and then they can just, it has ways for them, it has text boxes for them to write in, and then they paste in pictures here on this one. So it has everything already ready to go, all the video guides. I think I only have like one key for one of the video guides. I'll try to get more keys in there, but honestly, I would just print off a copy for yourself in the first class period you do it, fill out a key for it. Some of these activities, social assignments in here, I did get from other teachers at some point. And I'm so sorry that I do not remember who it was. So if it's some of your activities, thank you so much. They've gone over great, which is why I've kept them for such a long time. And please let me know if it was you so that I can give you credit for it. I don't believe I bought any of these, so they were all like free to use. So again, so sorry if any of it was yours and I didn't get you the correct credit. Do not mean to. Yay. Lastly, I have this here. If you want to copy everything for yourself in your Google Drive, this gives you the folders to create as well as subfolders for everything that is on this right here. That if you want to have a copy of your own thing for everything of the editable parts. If you don't care about editing it, then you can just do the zip drive. If you think everything's fine the way it is, you can just upload the zip drive and then you have everything the way that it is. But if you want to edit it, you can make your own copy of all the files that are editable, and this is how you would do it. All right, so please do comment and let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to send me messages on Etsy before you buy it if you have any questions, and I will be as helpful as I can and answer it as quickly as I can. Thank you so much.